Hey guys, it's time for a Women of the Bible Weekly. I missed last week. I apologize for that. But this week we're going to talk about Esther. You can read about Esther in the book of Esther from chapters 1 through 10. Now, she was a Jewish queen of Persia who prevented Haman from killing all the Jews. She was of the tribe of Benjamin and lived during the time Israel was exiled and eventually became queen who saved her entire people. Esther reminds us nothing is impossible with God. Esther is one of the only two books in the Bible named after a woman, and the other book being the book of Ruth. Esther's birth name was Hadash. She was orphaned at an early age. She was adopted by her cousin Mordecai. Esther was not only beautiful, but a woman of honor. The king at the time was dishonoring countless young women, stripping them of their virginity and casting them aside to the rank of concubine. Although Esther had no control over what was happening to her, she took control of her responses with humility and grace. When her turn came to be brought before the king, she was allowed to bring whatever she wanted with her to garner favor. Instead of manipulation, she chose trust. She asked for nothing, and she obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her. Now the king was attracted to Esther more than to any of the other women, and she won his favor and approval. So he made her queen. Now all this time Esther kept her heritage a secret. Soon Esther had the opportunity to stop trouble. Overhearing two of the king's officers angrily plotting to assassinate the king, Mordecai tells Esther, who then reports it to the king, crediting Mordecai. After an investigation, the truth is confirmed and the troublemaker is impaled. More trouble ensues due to a man named Haman. Planning on killing all the Jewish people, hearing the news, all the Jewish people began to mourn in sackcloth and ashes, including Mordecai. Esther heard of Mordecai's mourning and sent him clothes. He refused to accept them. Deeply distressed, Esther sent her attendants to find out what was troubling Mordecai and why. They returned with the entire story of Haman's plans. Esther is painfully aware of her circumstances. Although she's the queen, it's against the law to approach the king without being summoned. Doing so would result in death. However, if she does nothing, all the Jewish people would perish. Esther responds by putting her hope in God and sends word for everyone to fast and pray for 3 days. She done the same, her and her maidens. Maidens. After 3 days, the Bible says she put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house. But instead of death, the king granted her favor, asking her what she wanted. Due to God's deliverance, Haman was executed, Mordecai was honored, and the Jewish people were empowered to defend themselves. A yearly celebration called Purim was instituted because of Esther. That reminds us that nothing is impossible with God. Now, Purim is a Jewish holiday which commemorates the saving of the Jewish people from Haman. The meaning of the name Esther is Persian, and it means star. And then the added little thing this week: in this journey called life, both faith and fear will arise within you, and you will choose which one will prevail. The one you continually feed is the one that will dominate your life. Do not give in to fear, anger, hurt, self-pity, doubt, or any other negative emotion. When you feel them coming on, pray, quote a Bible verse, or sing your favorite gospel song. And that's a little bit of something I need to do this week. I love you all. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope to be back next week with another one. I will try my best. I love you all, and I'll see you next week.